Bullshit, lads. Hey everyone. Oh, that was a slurp and a half, mate. Do
And
we
we
have to do that on
decided that you
camera?
needed to have a sip before going on air, and I
Yeah.
thought, fuck it, I'll just have one as soon as we do.
Because I'm
Do
a
you
lot
know
more
what I mean? Just to mix it
considerate than
up.
you are. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean considerate?
very
I think
rude.
people enjoy watching props and that. You know, it's a prop,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like, you know.
Yeah, except they don't really want you in their ear going as soon as they freaking turn on the video, mate. Amateur!
Oh, there, they might like the sound of that. That's a turn on for people out there. Come on.
No, I don't reckon, mate. But anyway, thanks for ruining the start of this video as ever, Henry. Nice one. Thanks for joining me tonight. Hey everyone, it's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United, and this is the Pig and the Hen Show live podcast for you, coming at you right now to talk about lots of various things like we do on the Pig and the Hen Show. I'm sure it'll be quite random as ever, but one of the main things we want to talk about is today's absolute bitter disappointment that is the FA Cup final. Manchester United losing, of course, 1-0 to Chelsea. Absolutely gash-tastic, man. Not good enough. I mean, I'm still reading from it, to be honest. I'm so pissed off about this one. It's just ruined our season. It's left a bitter taste in my mouth because, we've not been great in the league. We've finished second. City have been great. Yada, yada, yada. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. But this was our chance just to win a little something, just to earn that little bit of self-respect going over the summer. Because now the season's done, we've got nothing else to play for. It would have been nice just to go out on a little bit of glory, even if it's not winning the league or getting to the Champions League final or whatever. But because City have been so good, because Liverpool have got to the final, and we haven't won anything, Chelsea have won something now, it just really makes us look like fucking shit, to be honest. I'm gutted about it. I mean, Henry's probably loving it over here, isn't he? Look at him. He looks happy, doesn't he? Look at that prick. He's getting more handsome by the day, I must say, because he's losing a bit of weight. But he's still a smug prick as ever, isn't he?
More
Look
smug.
at this guy.
More smug.
More of a smug prick than ever. Yeah, Jack and Brad Gaming, how's it going, mate? Hey, everybody who's tuning in. He comments and says, the old background. Yeah, man.
It's the 80s background, isn't it? It's the theme room. Each room has a theme. So we've got like 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties. And then we got like a futuristic room, haven't we? We're working on.
That's right, mate.
So send
this is the
send us
80s
in
room.
your spaceship bits and pieces, and we'll get that up to scratch for you guys.
But anyway, we've had to do it in this room tonight, so here we are, live for you, give you a bit of a raw reaction to how it went down. But yeah, I mean, oh man, I think we've had a shit season now, probably the fourth best in the Premier League, behind Chelsea now because they've won the FA Cup. They haven't got Champions League football, have they? So maybe not quite as bad as that, but they still got some silverware. Liverpool, even if they lose the Champions League final, they've got Champions League football next year, and they've got to the major European Cup final. So that's an incredible achievement, and yet they could still go on to win it, which would absolutely just eclipse our season even more. And then, of course, Man City, you have to say they've probably had the most successful season, unless Liverpool do win the Champions League. So it just makes our season seem even more poor. It looked poor before, finishing way second behind City. And then, of course, now what we've done is lose out to Chelsea, who, let's face it, they're one of the worst Chelsea sides we've ever seen in the Premier League. So it's just a bit of kick in the bollocks, it really is.
Yeah.
Not quite as shit as Spurs season, though, I'd say. Spurs have had a slightly shitter season because, they finished fourth, and they haven't been competitive. Third,
Get it
so
right. Yeah, get it right. Big difference, yeah.
Third in the league, fourth in my heart, mate. That's what they are. They're gash-tastic.
Well, so you love Liverpool then? See, again, Liverpool love that. We got him again. Fourth in my heart because I wish Liverpool we got third. Do you know what I mean?
You're chatting shit, mate. Bitter Spurs fan, as per usual. You giving it the big and smiling, are you? Because Manchester United have lost against Chelsea today. You're happy about that.
Mate, no,
you'd rather your London rivals beat us, wouldn't you? Just because you know me.
I ain't smiling about that at all.
Look at you. You love
Today's
it, mate.
been a great day. It's been, as a patriotic man, it's been a day of a royal wedding, right? And I'm smiling because,
oh, shit.
a member of the royal family has got married today. Why can't I be happy about that? Why
Sorry,
can't
lads.
I be happy about
Sorry,
that?
lads. Bit of a technical issue here. Just dropped the whole setup here. Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. You can be happy about that.
No, I haven't actually watched the royal wedding at all. Don't even know who's
No, I
got
haven't.
married, really. I do, but do you know what I mean? No, obviously much more interested in the FA Cup today, personally. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's disappointing for you. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but it's just good to see you disappointed after I felt so bitterly disappointed when you knocked us out.
Oh, when we knocked you out.
But you've basically done one step better than us, haven't you? You've come second, we've come third. You've got to the final, we got to the semi-final. We both got knocked out of the Champions League, made to look like mugs this season. But we've both secured positions in the Champions League next season. You know, no dodgy qualifier or anything to worry about like you get with fourth. It's third, second, you're straight in there. So it's not the end of the world. It's kind of like, you know, progress seasons for both of us, let's say, and hope for better things to come next season. I would say I am more happy and more satisfied as a Tottenham fan, I believe, as your average United fan. I think me as a Spurs fan, I'm more happy because I've seen great football from Tottenham this season. We are progressing. Things are on the rise. New stadium, etc., etc. Played at Wembley all season. It's been tricky, and we've done well. We haven't lost away to each of the promoted sides like United have. What a joke! So you went to Newcastle, lost to the might of Benitez. Went to Huddersfield, lost. Who else came up last season? Who else came up? Brighton. Brighton do you down the pier? Mugged right off. That's all I got to say.
I'm just going to echo K YouTube sentiments here, who said you won the not lost against promoted sides trophy. Because that's all Spurs fans can say.
Well,
It's
at
all,
least-
we beat this
No,
team on this
okay,
day. It's
okay.
about over the course of the season.
Do you
how
know what?
higher.
Do you
We're
know
better
what?
than you.
All these made-up trophies, right? At least we got them. At least if we are going to talk about made-up trophies, then fuck it. Yeah, we do have we beat Real Madrid this season, who've got to the Champions League final. We might be, we beat the Champions League winners, maybe. Right? We've got that little bullshit
But
trophy
it's not
that
a
we like
trophy,
to
mate.
talk about.
It's not even a trophy,
The
mate.
bullshit little trophy of didn't lose to all the promoted sides of last season. I'll take that trophy over you United mugs who don't have that little trophy we're talking about. If we're going to talk about these stupid little fucking made-up trophies, fuck you.
No, you're chatting shit, mate. And what about last season? It's only a year ago we won 3 trophies, Mickey Mouse trophies, but more trophies than Spurs have ever won in their entire existence, Poppy, mate. You're a small club, mate. Listen, Pochettino's done a good job getting you through to Champions League football again next year. Fair play to him. Qualified for the Champions League. Big achievement for Spurs. That's it. That's the level that they can get to.
That's
really.
it. Yeah,
They
But
can't compete with the big clubs financially or any other way.
We play good football. United just play shit football.
Already, yeah, because we knocked
Real
out the FA
shit.
Cup, mate. So is it shit if we beat you? No, and I don't think we were shit in that game either. I think you're just having a mare
I think you were shit first half. Real shit.
What,
Real
today?
shit. Yeah.
We were,
You
mate.
just don't have that. You know, it's all too fucking. Not. It's just. I've said it so many times. You know what I've got problems with Mourinho. Problems with the way that United play football, and it's just not on.
It is negative. I mean, we went out first half. It was way too defensively set up. There wasn't enough zip to our play. Wasn't quick enough. Not enough intent. Not enough crosses even. It's like we were sort of doing everything up to the final third, and then when we got to the final third, we just gift away possession, and everything would break
Excuse
down.
you.
And Chelsea,
Jeez.
Chelsea were fantastic in the first half of defending and getting a couple of breaks on us. And of course, they got the goal from a good Eden Hazard run. And they've got the penalty. But let's not forget that it was from an absolute calamitous challenge from Phil Jones, who, I'm sorry, mate, but you are not good enough, mate, to be, the number 1 centre-back there, or number 1 and 2 with Chris Smalling, playing in an FA Cup final, pulling on the red shirt of Manchester United. That's not a good enough calibre player, I'm sorry. And that goes for Chris Smalling as well. In my opinion, Jose's had a bit of a mare today by selecting Smalling and Jones. I actually thought Smalling had a good game, and Jones didn't really put much of a foot wrong after making the catastrophic error that he did. But what I would say is that he's a good squad player, but he's not fucking good enough to be like a Nemanja or a Rio. Nowhere near that good enough, not to be that top quality centre back. I think we need to sign a top quality
It's
player.
almost laughable, isn't it, when you mention his name next to those sort of players?
Exactly,
Isn't it?
yeah.
It's laughable.
I know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we've got Vidic and Ferdinand as our centre back. A few years on in the FA Cup final, it's Smalling and Jones. Nice one. It sounds like a bunch of mugs out there on the
it
pitch.
does, it does.
Representing Manchester United in the FA Cup final.
Oh,
That's
it
the
does.
best we can do, is it? What I don't understand, honestly, Henry, is why Manchester United haven't addressed the centre-back problem. Because ever since we've had Sir Alex Ferguson in charge, he needed to replace Vidic and Rio Ferdinand when they hung up the boots for Manchester United. That's when they needed to be replaced. But it's taken all these years and all these players that just don't live up to it and have these games where they make mistakes and they lose us big games, and they shouldn't be doing that because they should be more consistent. They should be more reliable for Manchester United. At United, you need reliable players who can do it week in, week out, like Vidic and Rio, But we haven't gone out there in the transfer market and addressed it. Jose tried to do it by bringing in Eric Bailly, and I think he's actually our best centre-back. But now we need somebody to partner Eric Bailly, because I think it's pretty evident to see that Smalling and Jones are just not good enough. And look, Nemo Nobody saying Bailey Lindelof, that's 80 mil right there. Lindelof's another player I think's just not quite lived up to it. He doesn't look quality enough. He might be a good versatile defender to have in your team and make up the numbers and play in certain fixtures where you cannot field your strongest side, because that's what you've got to do. You've got to have a squad deep enough to handle all tournaments. So you do need these players. Of course, I don't think we should sell Smalling or Jones. Don't get me wrong. I think they're good squad players to have. But they're fucking Wes Brown, aren't they? They're John O'Shea. They're not fucking Rio and Vidic.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh on John O'Shea, isn't it?
John O'Shea's a quality player, man. Real quality. And Wes Brown, you talk about Champions League winner and stuff here. Quality players. But they're always second fiddle to Rio and Vidic in terms of that centre-back partnership. And that's what we're lacking. You look at City's depth in defence, City's pairings at the back there, they've got quality. You know, even Chelsea have got really good backline. Tottenham have got one of the best backlines in the league. That's what you need. You need that solidity, that week in, week out. I think Jose Mourinho mixes it up too much for his own good. Talk about negative tactics and poor selections and stuff. Why does he mix up the back line so much? 1 week Luke Shaw, 1 week Lindelof centre back, 1 week Smalling centre back alongside Jones. Jones then with Lindelof. You know, he mixes it all around. Why do we not have just that solid back line we play week in, week out? That's how titles are won. You have that unit that work well together, a la Rio and Vidic and Evra and Gary Neville, and you know, that sort of a back line. Week in, week out. Yes, you have your Wes Browns. Yes, you have your John O'Shea's coming in to play certain games here and there and stuff because of fitness issues or injuries or team rotation or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, your starting 11 should have 2 top quality centre-backs in. If you're Manchester United, you're one of the best teams supposedly in the world, then we should have a top quality centre-back pairing, which we just do not have. We've got good centre-back pairings, they're good players, but they're not good enough.
Going forward then, staying on this topic, going forward, right, obviously we've got summer, we've got transfer window. Who do United need to go out and sign? Who are the players out there? Are they in the Premier League? Or do you need to look overseas? What do you need to do? Tell me, give me some names, Pig. What have we got?
Well, if we're talking about Premier League players that could come in and actually improve Manchester United's defence, it's tricky because you're not going to really prize the top defenders away from their clubs. Clubs aren't going to want to sell to you. I mean, I'd like to have, say, Toby Alderweireld at Manchester United.
I was going to say Toby.
I think he's good.
I was going to say
yeah,
Toby.
Dr. Trolley's just commented and said,
You might get him. You might get him because Toby hasn't really been playing for us recently. He hasn't looked this well. He just hasn't really been given the opportunity since he's recovered from his injury. He might have not looked the best when he came back, but he hasn't really been given a chance to get back into the team, and he looks like he might be off, along with Danny Rose. And you could be looking at them two at United.
I heard Luke Shaw could potentially be going the other way direction. So maybe as a make weight for that deal, Danny Rose. I'd take Danny Rose at Manchester United, to be fair. Luke Shaw, great young talent's got a lot of potential, but I'm sorry, over the last couple of years, not really been good enough either, has he? No, I wouldn't really care. In all honesty, sorry to say it, if Luke Shaw was to leave this summer, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest, because I think we still need to sign a left back to improve that position anyway. So why even bother with Luke Shaw? But Danny Rose, you're getting somebody who's more developed, who is at the peak of their powers effectively.
You got the two England
good
left
international,
backs.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know, and those guys will know each other through England as well. It'd probably be a good idea if they get on all right to pair them up. So you've got your two experienced left backs there. Great players, definitely.
Yeah, totally agree.
Danny Rose, though, he just hasn't quite been the same though since his injury. He hasn't been on fire for Tottenham. Far from it.
Yeah.
So
we're yet to see that England team.
We're yet to see if unlucky Alex Rudd on Jack Wilshere not making the England side. But there we go. Wilshere had a few things to say about that. He was pissed off. He would be pissed off, though. You would be, wouldn't you?
He would, yeah. But in my opinion, I don't think he should have made the England side. Yeah, well, he's played the most games.
Been all right, hasn't he? But there we go.
This season, I think he's played 38 games in all competitions, which for him is a fucking miracle. Because he is Mr. Sick Note, that bloke. And anyway, I just don't like his mentality. I think he's a bit of a twat. Wait a second, we've got a super chat that I missed here from Alex Rudd. Thank you so much, Alex, for sending us that over. He says, "Do you keep imaginary trophies in an imaginary cabinet, Henry?"
Well, I guess you would do, yeah. If we're gonna talk about it, thank you for introducing the imaginary cabinet to this dream that we've got going. Love it.
Nathan Martin is spamming us with the same comment, which is, "Pig, has Henry give you his 50 quid yet?"
Do you remember how much I owe you now?
I remember how much he owes me. Yeah.
How much is it?
It's £30.
Correct. Yeah, I'll take that.
So he's given me 20. Fair play to him. He's paying me in instalments, and I'm allowing him to do that.
Well, no, I actually gave you 25, but then I sort of asked for 5 back at some point, didn't I? That's basically happened.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you owe me 30, mate. But no rush. As long as you get it to me by Tuesday, I won't send the boys round to kneecap you.
What boys are you talking about?
You don't know, mate. You just don't know. You just wait and see.
Only boy you got's the hen, yeah?
Everybody who's joining us, there's about 80 legends in here right now already who are tuning into the podcast on Sunday night. So thank you for so much for getting it. Saturday night, isn't it?
Saturday night.
I'm losing track of days, but thanks so much for getting involved. If you're tuning in right now to this live stream, do yourself a favour, do me a favour, do Henry a favour.
Jog
Chuck
on.
Chuck a like on this video. Please give it a share across social media. You might think, I don't really want to share these ingrades with my social media friends because they'll just think they'll think less of me for sharing these two morons' feed. But at the end of the day, we're just here chatting. Somebody might relate to it. Your grandma might fancy Henry or something. Who knows? You might make it a day. So share it on social media.
Send your pics in.
Yeah. So thanks very much for tuning in and joining us tonight for this Pig in the Hen show anyway. Much appreciated. Let's just have a look at some of your comments for a minute that are coming through. Everybody who's tuned in, I'm sorry if I couldn't answer any of yours earlier for the post-match reaction. I was just sort of ranted away there. Only managed to answer a few of the super chats, which of course I'm going to answer if you're super chatting in because they're highlighted up there. But I'll try and read all you people and guys.
People.
I can't think, mate. That's it. I'm pissed off tonight. I'm pissed off with the result and just not happy. Just not happy tonight. So, yeah, but let's have a look at some of your comments. Lim UFC Dazzler says, so pissed off with this season. Things better change next season or Borinho can do it. I like what you did there, mate, calling Mourinho Borinho.
It is
That was
Borinho.
very clever, mate. That was very clever. I like that because you know what? He does sort of bore us, doesn't he, at United? That first half performance was laughable today, and we've seen many performances like that this season where it's been too indecisive in the final third. Too much passing for our own good, sidey side, all that sort of stuff. Slow, yeah.
Mourinho, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Say Mourinho. Fucking mug.
Fucking Mourinho and us. Yeah, man.
Can I just say a couple of things?
Go on, mate.
You have been going on like a motor mouth, ain't you? What is a motor mouth? What the fuck is that? People say that, don't you, fucking motor mouth? But what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I think maybe some people used to attach little motors to their mouth and it used to go. What do you reckon?
That's a bit freaky, mate.
Anyway.
But no, back to the game. I mean, starting. What I don't get is, was Lukaku really not fit enough to start the game? Was he not? Because it's one of those, isn't it? You're either fit to play or you're not. Surely, if he's even 85% there, you need to be starting with that sort of man. I mean, the first half was dross. Second half, you kind of start to play a little bit better. You're getting the balls in and you're getting the chances. But what you need is that big man up there that can get his head on the ball. You know what? Fucking Pogba there, with the new style of his hair or whatever it is, the way that he's waxed it, deflecting the ball so it doesn't quite go in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? That's issues right there. You need Lukaku there, that fucking steam train. So, Rashford, I love the guy. Brilliant young player, someone of the future. He's looked promising, but today, to be fair, he was pretty garbage that first half.
He's not the finished product.
Didn't really do anything there,
yeah.
and yeah, it's just Mourinho, and it worries me that Mourinho is making Rashford into a Bashford. Do you know what I mean?
Gashford.
Trashford.
Freaking Flashford.
Anymore? That's it. It says it all, doesn't it? Rash. As in you've got a rash, but as in you've got a Rashford.
Or Tashford, he's wearing a bit of a dodgy tash and it's not doing him any favours. Tashford.
Splashford, some dodgy place that you take your kids on the water slides.
Maybe you do, mate. Sounds a bit fucked up. You take them to a place called Splashford. That's fucked up, mate. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Freaking Mashford. Anyway, he was not good enough to... Oh, look, Dr. Troy said Mashford. Nice one. Great minds think alike.
Pogba doesn't cut the hair. The header goes in. There we go. Interesting.
There you go.
$2 from Alex Red.
Do you think Marouane would have missed that? I don't think so.
No, going back to my original ever Pig and the Hen, I guess you can call it that, if you go back to our first ever appearance, Fellaini, who's someone's mentioned Fellaini, or did you just mention
I
Fellaini?
just
You wouldn't have
mentioned him,
mentioned it. You know, gets his hair, it cuts up the middle part, doesn't he? Encrusts it so that when the ball goes up in the air, then the ball just lands in his fucking hair.
Yeah, he's got like
You
a
know what I
bird's
mean?
nest on top of his head.
And then he just carries it into the back of the net, and I just don't understand why he hasn't done it. You know what I mean? We've been doing the show for years. Jeez.
Maybe he could do. And speaking of haircuts, I need to get this atrocity seen to. I just noticed it from this angle, yeah. I've got a full-on mullet at the back, mate. What the fuck's going on there?
It's not great, is it? It's not great.
Oh, dear. But yeah, I would like it if maybe Pogba didn't dick around with his hair so much. Just was a little bit more old school. Maybe just got a grade 1 all over, like he's joining the army or something. Stop dicking about with your hair, Paul Pogba, and focus more on playing for Manchester United. Because today, sorry, again, £90 million turn in the park, supposed to be setting it alight at Old Trafford and Manchester United or Wembley or wherever he's playing, because he's supposed to be this match-winning colossus. Unfortunately for us, I think we got the wrong Pogba or something. You know, what happened? Did they swap him at customs or something? Because we've ended up with some mug.
What he should have is just literally skinhead, but Pogba in blonde. Just that, you know, it's still his hair. Because that's the sort of guy he is, isn't he? He proper loves himself. He is.
I know, man.
Is just like, come on, mate.
Listen, mate, there's no reason to get a haircut every 3 days. Sorry, mate, you might have a shitload of money. You might even like putting a bit of money back into the local economy and paying a barber 600 quid to do that fucking atrocity to your hair. But you don't need to do that so often, mate. Here you go. Why not just get a bloody pair of clippers, £6 or something off the internet, Amazon cheapo version. Lop it off every couple of weeks. Stop dicking about with it. Give the money to charity. Nice one, Paul. Maybe that'll focus you a little bit more on being the top quality player that we all invested in. Any dickheads at Spurs you want to either go about, mate, you dick about with their hair too much? Who is there? No, there's not that many, you see. Because guess what? They're all pretty, you know, down to earth.
What you want, really?
Do you know what I mean? Do you think Son's going to be dicking around with his hair?
I don't think you should change your haircut much as a footballer. Basically, you change your haircut once you've got a different part of your era as a footballer. You look at Beckham, for example. You talk about like, oh, you know, the you know, you can see the big cross on the back tattoo days. You know, oh yeah, I remember that 2001,
That's
whatever
true.
it was.
That's true.
You know those epic times. Pogba's changing left, right, and centre every second. It's like no one's going to remember that Pogba. That is not going to be a good way of being remembered for the future in terms of style, in terms of, do you know what I mean? You ain't no Beckham, mate. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, you know what I'm talking about,
know what
don't
you're
you?
talking about.
Or you rep a single star like Ginola, famous for the long hair. Or you got the Toby Alderweireld. Even
the
people
Fellaini,
like
or
me
the
are coming
Fellaini.
on here saying I'm trying to get getting the Toby Alderweireld cut. Even Kim Jong Un keeps the same hairstyle, doesn't they? That's what it's about.
That's what it's about,
Making
mate.
yourself, you know, character in an image out there.
Yeah.
Come on,
And
Pogba,
David Beckham had all these iconic hairstyles. And he did. I think a lot of that was to do with his missus and stuff. You know what I mean? But he had all these iconic hairstyles. But it's not like he had them every other week. It's like he had that skinhead for a long time. He had the, you know, the mohawk for a good while. He had all these looks, the feather, you know, all this stuff that he's got on the go. But personally, for me, the one thing that differentiates him between Pogba, to me, is that he gave 110% intensity every single week to David Beckham. There was no question about his commitment to the team. There was no question about his abilities. And maybe he was playing in a better team, with a better manager, and all these different aspects that do add into it. But I'm sorry, you can't even compare David Beckham with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba deserves no mention in the same sentence as David Beckham, if you ask me, for any reason. What he's achieved as a professional footballer, what he's achieved for Manchester United, he is absolutely you know, towered over by the record of David Beckham at Manchester United, and he just doesn't have the bottle, Paul Pogba. He's not a leader. I was expecting us to sign a leader. He's not a leader. He doesn't lead by example in his play, and he doesn't lead by, you know, marshalling the team or anything like that. Not from what I can see, anyway. He's been a bit disappointed since he's come in. A lot of money as well, and just not good enough. I mean, if somebody came in tomorrow and made a good enough offer, I'd sell him. I would, because I think we need a leader in the centre of the park. We need somebody like a Roy Keane or something. Or Paul Scholes, maybe, who can lead in a different way by, you know, setting up every single passage of play for the club. Paul Pogba is too all over the place, and he's too inconsistent, and he dawdles on the ball too much. He's got a lot of basics about his game that he does wrong. And like today, first half, you could see he's probably shackled by Jose Mourinho. He's doing a job for the team, playing reasonably defensive. It's not working out. But second half, you could see Jose's basically said, just do what you want, Pogba. You know, you've got a free role, because he was all over the place in that second half. But wasn't influential enough, wasn't clinical enough, wasn't creative enough. And I'm sorry, but if you're playing for Manchester United and you're in an FA Cup final and you're supposed to be this talismanic player for us, you need to play better than that, mate. You need to play better than that, mate. You do. Because it just looked like some average, average Joe was on the pitch. And he's not an average Joe. He's supposed to be quality, but we just haven't seen enough of that at Manchester United. He's been a huge disappointment. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. I think the players have been shackled, but the players are also responsible, and there are individuals there, such as Pogba, who just haven't lived up to what's been expected of him. It's been difficult for players like Rashford and Lingard, who's probably shone more out of those two this season. Has looked good in a tricky season for United, where people are laughing at you, the laughing stocks. It has been like that with City just absolutely doing so fantastic. Liverpool playing flair football, scoring shitloads of goals. Mohamed Salah,
shitloads of girls.
shitloads of girls playing girl with Pep Guardiola. You know what I mean? It's been like that. I mean, come on, like what would you do to have a player like
De Bruyne.
Mohamed Salah this season,
right, yeah.
putting in that many goals for United? You would have won the league, I would have thought, with that kind of addition. So it seemed just that, Lukaku's been decent enough, but he hasn't been, prolific enough.
Talk about that about Jose Mourinho, though. He's missed the boat there, hasn't he? Missed the trick there, not getting Salah at United. Because he had Salah at
Well,
Chelsea.
he had Salah. Well, he used to have De Bruyne, didn't he?
Yeah, I
people
know.
talk about these great
It's
players that Mourinho has let slip through his fingers.
Why would he not want Salah at Manchester United? He said recently that you knew Salah was capable of playing like that. Yeah, well, if you knew that, why wouldn't you sign him for 20
I'd have more
million or
respect for him
whatever
if he said, "Oh, I got that one wrong."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because if you knew he was going to be that good, then you would have challenged Liverpool for his signature, and it wasn't a great deal of. How much was it? 40 million, or was it even less? I think it wasn't a great deal of money, not in this current transfer market, and certainly not the amount of goals that Liverpool have got out of him. He's been one of the most bargain, value for money signings there has been in the Premier League.
What I would like to do this evening, though, as part of the show, is let's look at a nonsense United side. Not nonsense in terms of, but nonsense in terms of like we could put any players in we want. Let's say United can sign anyone. What team are we looking at next season for United? So I'd say keep De Gea and go, obviously best keeper in the world, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we've drafted in realistic players like Danny Rose has come in, Toby Alderweireld has paired up. Well, let's say Virgil van Dijk, who suddenly
Fuck
managed
that,
to.
No, that's not realistic.
Okay.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
this is why I said
no.
nonsense. This is why I said nonsense.
No,
though.
'cause
But
I
this is
like this game.
what I'm doing is I want to talk
like
about
that.
what we.
It is
what,
nonsense,
what you could
Yeah,
have.
it's fucking
right?
nonsense, though. Yeah, no, I want to talk
Because
about what we could have.
someone mentioned Virgil van
Yeah,
Dijk
yeah.
on the
But you meant before
comments,
Liverpool, yeah?
And what
You
I'd
meant
like to do
before
is
Liverpool.
include what people out there think. And he
listen.
said Virgil van Dijk, so okay, let's stick him in there. He has looked fantastic
I'm not
for
sticking
Liverpool
him in there, mate.
since he's
Liverpool
come in. Well,
wouldn't
why
sell him to
can't we?
United. It's
Why
bullshit.
can't we
'Cause
stick
we're
him
not
in
going to
there?
sign him. Listen, you were bang on when
No,
you
but
said...
then I said
Wait a
nonsense.
second. You were bang
So
on
then
when...
why
Shut
can't we
up.
continue
Shut the
with
fuck
my
up.
idea then?
Shut up.
Mate, you've had an 85% possession this evening.
Listen, you're sent off, mate. Sit down. You're in a sin bin. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, no, sorry, mate. If I offended you there. No, listen, you're bang
Someone
on.
has to shut up at the end. Someone has to be the big man, yeah?
You're bang on because I want to talk about this and say, and by the end of this team, we'll figure out how many players Manchester United actually need to sign to get to where they
Well,
need
there
to
we
be.
go, yes.
Yeah, but saying Virgil van
Thinking
Dijk
Van
is
Dijk,
bullshit,
your
though.
defenders ain't good
No,
enough.
mate, that's a bullshit suggestion.
We're going to
because
stick
we're not
with
going to
small
sign him
cock.
for Liverpool,
Stick
mate.
with small
No,
cock.
we're going to talk about somebody else like Alderweireld, who might actually realistically
Okay,
be a
so
player we
Toby
could sign.
and Van Dijk.
We're not going to sign Virgil van Dijk at Manchester United, though, mate. So why talk about it?
Yeah, but we could do your...
It's redundant.
Yeah, but we could do your realistic one in a bit. Let's do my nonsense one first.
No.
That's what the people want.
No, sorry,
That's
we're not
what
doing
the
the nonsense
people
one.
want.
Okay, let's do the nonsense one. Right. Okay, we'll have Messi and Ronaldo
but
up front.
not
Let's have
nonsense.
Messi and
No,
Ronaldo
listen.
up front.
Listen, not nonsense in terms of like players that you could just go out and get. Fair enough, you couldn't just go and get Van Dijk, but in a way you could have. So he's the sort of player that should have been available to United, the sort of player that maybe you should have signed. That is what I'm trying to talk about.
But I don't want to talk about that because it's bullshit. Honestly. No, we're not going to sign Virgil van Dijk, so why even talk about it? But Man United will sign Kante and Hazard. That's what Major General N'Golo Kante says.
Yeah, I'd
So-
have them, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
too, and I think that's maybe more realistic because Chelsea may be losing their manager. Hazard's one of the best players that we could basically look at, although when he was coming to England, we were in for him and he decided to go to Chelsea. Fair play to him. He's a player we could get because they don't have Champions League football next year. Manchester
But
United
can we
do.
start at the defence, though, can't we? We're
Yes,
working
please,
our
yeah.
way through it then. At
Let's
least
do it,
if we're
yeah.
going to do your one, then let's just work through it then. At least let me have the format. Come on.
I'm not letting you have the format, mate. It's ridiculous. Alex Webb says, talk about a player you can sign. Yes, mate. That's what
Yes,
we're doing.
so if you're not having Van Dijk, who are you having then?
Hey, listen to me then. Listen to me for fuck's sake. So we do a double deal with Tottenham Hotspur, right? They take Luke Shaw, we
Yeah.
get Danny Rose,
Yeah.
and we get Toby Alderweireld.
Okay.
Next season, that makes our defence Danny Rose left back, Alderweireld centre back, partnering Eric Bailly centre back.
No, you don't want Bailly.
Partner in
Bailly
Valencia.
ain't good enough, mate.
Bailly is good enough, mate. He's
Why
our best
didn't he
centre
play
back.
today?
Don't know. Don't
Why
know.
didn't he play
Don't know.
today? He obviously
Ask
ain't good
Jose,
enough.
mate.
Mourinho don't think he's good enough. Otherwise, he would have played in the FA Cup final today.
Well, no, Lukaku didn't start the game.
Yeah,
because he had
Lukaku
some
wasn't
sort of an
fully
injury.
fit.
Well, maybe there was an issue. Maybe there was a little
Bullshit there
problem
was.
with
Tell
Eric
me
Bailly,
if there
mate.
was a problem with Bailly. Bullshit.
That's why I think it was the wrong decision from Jose anyway. But he put his faith in James this morning today. It backfired, didn't it? So anyway, Bailly's better player in my opinion. He's more solid. He's more Vidic-esque than the other two mugs we've got. So I would say Bailly's good enough. At least give him this season to prove himself. Why not? He's shown that he's got the ability. So he would partner Alderweireld. In my opinion, that's a good back line, you know. With Valencia, I think Valencia's good enough. He's one of the best sort of flying wing backs in the league. He's aging. He's not going to be around forever. But I still think we can get a top quality season out of Antonio Valencia. So for that back line, that would be Danny Rose, Alderweireld, and of course partnering Bailly with Antonio Valencia. So we need to sign two players, keep two players. That's the back line sorted. Sounds pretty
Okay,
decent.
okay.
Then we've got Jones and Smalling and Lindelof and all those players sort of deputising for that whole back line.
Midfield.
Midfield, right, okay. Well, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I would love for us to sign a top quality, influential,
Just quickly,
creative
K
player.
YouTube says, imagine United signing Van Dijk, though. See, people were talking about
Yeah,
it. That's
maybe,
what I was
maybe we
trying
should
to
have
talk
done.
about.
Maybe we should have done. Yeah, just like we should have signed Mo
Brilliant player.
Salah.
He's, you know,
It's easy
okay.
to say these things in hindsight. It doesn't
Yeah.
always happen, right? Anyway, midfield, we've definitely got an issue. Paul Pogba, in my opinion, is not good enough. I would actually sign. Do you know who I'd sign?
Yeah.
If it was reasonable to expect that we could pick him up. I've always wanted him, and he's an ex-Spurs player, little man called Luka Modric. I reckon he is sick in terms of creative play, in terms of technical ability. He's not really a Jose Mourinho
He
player.
is sort of getting
though.
on a bit now.
He is,
a
but
little
he's a quality
bit, you
player,
know.
man. He's somebody who I would have, right? And do you know what? Matic, to me, I'm sorry, I'm happy with Matic as that sort of rugged holding midfielder, defensive midfielder, because you need a balance. To me, Matic is good enough to play that role. Maybe
You'd have
Kante...
Matic and Modric. Well, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe Kante would be a little bit better, but I don't think that's as realistic as, you know, just keeping on
You don't want Kante and Matic, though, or do you? Because is that what
No.
Chelsea had?
I
Or
don't
did
want
Chelsea
that,
have
man.
that?
It sounds too defensive. It sounds way too defensive. They did. I don't think they played them at the same time, though, did they? Don't know. But anyway, yeah, no, that doesn't sound good to me. I want to have a bit of balance. Maybe somebody like Modric and Matic in the centre of the park there, right? And then I do think we need a winger. This is the thing. We need a winger because Rashford's just not quite ready, not quite good enough. Martial came on at the end of the game today, didn't look good enough, too inconsistent for us, has been too inconsistent. May not even be at the club very long because from all accounts he's in a little bit of, you know, doubt about what's going on with his future. Does Jose want him as his star man? Is he going to play enough games at Manchester United?
It's Ronaldo then, is it?
No, it's not. No, I mean, that would be fantastic.
Bale.
Bale. Now you're talking, mate. See, now that is realistic
But
in
Bale
the
will
sense...
come back to Tottenham.
Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't.
Bale would sicken me. He would sicken me if he went to United. He can't do it. He can't go to United. He loved Tottenham. If he comes back to Premier League, it's got to be Tottenham Hotspur. We've got first rights to him. You know, even if he came out in the media and said, "Oh, it's because Tottenham weren't willing to offer enough, so I didn't have the choice to join them." Fuck that, Bale. You can make it happen. Player power, mate. Wouldn't believe a word you said if that happened. So I expect him back at Tottenham Hotspur.
Fair enough, if he's going to leave Madrid, you'd like to think there's a little thing called loyalty that still exists. He
Should
would go
be.
back to Spurs.
Otherwise, I would slate him forever.
But would Tottenham be prepared to pay the same wages that Manchester United are? I don't think
Well,
they would.
they'd have to.
They would have to. And to be fair, when you get the opportunity to sign a player like Bale back, who was an absolute match winner for your club, and who turned into an icon in football, really. You've got to take it, don't you? You've got to sign him. But let's just say they don't. Let's just say Manchester United offer a bit more. Let's just say he wants to go to Manchester United because he thinks he can challenge for more trophies at Manchester United.
Mourinho will turn him into a Bale.
The best left back in the world. Put him back to left back. No, he's a great option though. He might be a bit injury prone and maybe he's not quite as good as he was. But you still can't deny the impact he's had over in La Liga and the impact he did have when he was at Spurs. Top quality player. If Gareth Bale is offered to you on a plate, you've got to sign him up. He's so good, he is. So yeah, Gareth Bale, he's a winger that I'd have. Imagine if Manchester United have Gareth Bale at the peak of his powers on the left-hand side of the pitch. I mean, how many chances is he going to create for his teammates? How many goals is he going to score or set up? He's going to be influential because he's a top quality player. So you have him, you have Alexis Sanchez on the other side. Oh, that sounds filthy.
You reckon Sanchez is good at a wing, on the wing?
I do, mate. That's where I play him.
So?
I play him sort of right wing, advanced position. Let's say we're playing something like a variation of a 4-4-2, but like a 4-2, and then two wingers, and then maybe two strikers, or a 4-2-3-1. Let's say we've got Matic and Modric in the centre of midfield, one of them marshalling there, the other one creating, and then we've got Gareth Bale, sort of the attacking midfielder on the left, and we've got Alexis Sanchez, the attacking midfielder on the right. And then, do you know what? I think we don't really necessarily need to sign any more players. It would be nice to get another top quality striker and maybe another top quality sort of attacking midfielder. But I still think a player who is overlooked in the Premier League, and maybe by Jose and by a lot of Manchester United fans, is Juan Mata. I think if you put Juan Mata in the hole, in the number 10 role, he creates all sorts of chances. He's
behind
so technical.
Lukaku?
Yeah, behind Lukaku. He creates all sorts of chances there. So for me, Juan Mata's already a ready-made top quality player. Not a lot of people agree with me on that one. That's my personal opinion. I think he's quality. Look, Alk Mahmoud commenter says sell Mata. He's so consistent for me.
Would you not just have Dele Alli and Kane though up there? Basically?
Yeah, but I don't think that's realistic. It's not as realistic as Alderweireld or Danny Rose. Like you say, that seems like it could potentially be on the cards that they're leaving. Don't think Spurs are going to want to sell Harry Kane to us. Given the choice of pretty much any striker in the world right now, who we could sign at Manchester United, I'd snap your hand off for Harry Kane. He's quality and he's English.
Do you not think Dele Alli has the character and the ability through age to become a leader? He's one of those guys. He's gritty, isn't he? He's really passionate.
He's
about
definitely
the game.
gritty and passionate. Have you seen his porno?
What porno? Is he in a porno?
I told you, didn't I? I've seen a clip of it. I don't know why I looked for that, but I saw something come up on my Facebook feed or whatever. Dele Alli in CD porn vid or something, right? Have you not seen this, mate?
Real? I haven't seen that.
Do you want me to show it you?
Nah. No, I'm not into
I'll get on
that.
the old X-Hamster, mate. Get search Dele Alli. Come on, you want to see his dick,
No,
mate?
I don't, mate. I definitely don't, mate. I'm leaving, mate. You serious?
Anyway, he's got the same downstairs as he has on top of his head. Sort of like that Jackson 5 70s afro look going on there, Dele. No, anyway, he's at like some...
Disgusting me
He's
now,
in
mate.
some
You're
sort of
disgusting
gangbang...
me.
No, well, this is disgusting me, mate, because this is what your players are getting up to in their spare time, mate. Dele Alli...
Why can't they?
He's getting... Okay, they can, but why do they have to do it in a room full of their mates videoing it? I mean, sort your freaking life out, Dele. Are you some sort of council estate scum? Is that what it is?
What mates? What mates? What, Harry Kane or
I
something?
don't know who it is. It's a very good, valid
Christian
question,
Eriksen
mate.
and Son Heung-min.
Yeah, Son Heung-min's filming from across the road,
Snapping.
having a cheeky wank in the corner.
That you have got a sick mind, mate.
Mate, it's not me that's
You
got
are
a sick mind.
sick and
Dele
twisted.
Alli has freaking been caught on video getting noshed off by a... What's that? Oh, look.
It was a prostitute.
By a prostitute,
apparently.
apparently, and that comes
Well,
from...
that's her job. She accepts money for Dele Alli to do what he wants to her. And that's what happened. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
nice one, Dele. Nice example you're setting your young fans there. Let's just
But-
hire a hooker and film it while I get noshed off for the world to see.
But
Even though
Dele-
I'm a professional footballer with somewhat of a profile, I'm famous. Nobody's going to want to see that, are they? You're a prat, Dele.
Bit of fresh delicatesse on.
Sickening. Alex Rudd says Ericsson was assisting.
He always is.
He always is. Bless him.
Fuck you.
He likes to
Do you know
hold
what I mean? Fuck you. Dele Alli.
Gungshi in the house.
player.
Hey, Gungshi, thank you so much, man. He's already sent me a super chat over earlier on the other video. He sent me another one, and it's 500 Taiwanese dollars. Thank you so much, Gungshi, for all the continued support you show us on the channel. His comment to go along with it says, we need to get some leaders in our team pronto. P.S. Bale is coming to United, Hen.
No, he's not. How do you know Ganji? Do you know what I mean? How would you
He's
know
in
that?
the know. He's in the know. You don't know what he does over there in Taiwan, mate. He's part of the Asian marketing team for Manchester United, isn't he?
You really think so?
He knows his business.
What would the Asian marketing team got to do with Bale? A Bale transfer?
No, he's just
Tell
in the
me.
loop. He's in the loop. You know, Jose calls him up sometimes and says, "Hey, Gungshi, how's the marketing going over there in Asia? Oh, by the way, Bale's coming to United."
No, because Gunshi would then be getting him in the Chinese Super League or something, wouldn't they?
But anyway, no, I think you're right, mate. I think if Bale's going to come back to the Premier League and leave Real Madrid, I think he would come to Manchester United because it's a new challenge. It's a bigger club than Spurs. Sorry, Tottenham. He can probably make more money at Manchester United. He'll have the ability to challenge for everything he wants. You know, realistically, I'm sorry, Spurs, they might win the Real Madrid trophy. They're not winning the Champions League anytime soon. They're definitely not winning the Premier League anytime soon. Manchester United finished second in the Premier League, long way off City, but still a heck of a lot closer to winning the Premier League than Spurs are. If you're Gareth Bale, who's over there in La Liga winning trophy after trophy after trophy for Real Madrid, Champions League, La Ligas, Copa del Rey's, all these trophies that he's won and scored in finals and had these big games and huge performances, why the fuck would you want to go back to Tottenham Hotspur and battle for fourth? Why the fuck would you want to do that? There's no logic behind it apart from I'm loyal to Spurs. I want to go back to the roots where I started from. Well, it's not even where I started from, but where I had my breakthrough and my success, and try and replicate that. It's another challenge, kind of like maybe Ronaldo would come back to United, except that United are still on that platform where we are challenging for everything, unlike Tottenham.
We are
who
challenging for everything.
No, you're
We've
not,
been
mate.
challenging
You're
on all
not.
fronts just as much as you have this season.
No, you're
just
not.
as much as you have.
Oh, yeah.
Apart from one
we
step
lost to
in
you
the
in the
FA
FA Cup
Cup.
final, did we?
One step in
When
the
did we
FA Cup,
finish in the
one
Premier League?
position in the league. That's it.
There's a-
Minimal.
there's a huge
Nominal.
There's a huge,
Decimals.
big difference between
Correct.
second and third, isn't there? Isn't there? You see, that's what you have to resort to, mate, because you know I'm talking sense.
Still trophy involved, a medal involved in it, silver and bronze. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, Gungshi, I totally hear you, man. I think Bale's coming to United, and I would love it, in the words of Kevin Keegan. I would love it if we signed Bale. I would love it, and I'd love to see this guy's face. How pissed off would this guy be if we signed Bale? It would be worth us spending 100 million on Bale just so we could look at that face after Manchester United have signed his hero to our club. That's what we need.
You make it fool of yourself, mate.
I don't think he's going back to Spurs. Sorry, mate. I don't.
No, he will be. He will
No, he
be.
won't be. Why would he?
He will be.
Why would he? Why? Just answer me why. Because he likes Spurs?
Because he loves
There's no
Spurs, 'cause
loyalty
he
in
loves
football
Spurs.
these days, mate.
Basically, what United need, to be honest, and this would sort you right out, is to have the best of Spurs current and Spurs past, plus United's best that are still playing. So you got Ronaldo, you get Bale, you get Harry Kane. You know, that's that, and Dele Alli. You got the making, Christian Eriksen.
Modders.
You know, you keep De Gea. You know, you've got the workings of a team that really could then compete for titles. I reckon you would.
Yeah. I agree, man. We're only a couple of players away from having a squad capable of challenging City. The thing is, they've got the X factor in that they've got Pep Guardiola, who plays some of the nicest football. He's obviously a masterful tactician, just in the way that he dominates teams. So that is a bit of an X factor for City. You can, having a top quality squad only gets you so far. I remember the days when Middlesbrough was spending freaking shitloads of money on players, and look what happened to them. They couldn't turn that into any sort of a success. So the manager's got to do that. His tactics, the coaching staff, everything's got to play their part. But I think the better squad you have, the more likely it's going to happen. Pep Guardiola had a better squad going into it. Jose Mourinho needs to sign a couple of top quality players. Can you imagine the headlines though if we can manage to wrap up a signature like Gareth Bale? Top quality player coming back who you know is going to improve the team when he's fit. It would be huge. Maybe we could get rid of that twat Paul Pogba as well in the same deal. Little exchange over to Real Madrid, thank you very much. See you later on, Paul. No one gives a shit about you. Pretty harsh, isn't it? Pretty
So
harsh.
that's it. I mean, bottom line is, you just don't. At the moment, the team just ain't quite good enough. For me, it's almost that Mourinho's point of view would be that the team has done what he said, but hasn't gone on to express themselves whilst doing what he wants them to do. So if you look at his team that he had when he was at Real Madrid, if you look at the team that he had when he was at Inter Milan, you saw that they had this structured, fantastic way of playing football. Maybe very much boring a lot of the time, but very, very tactically astute. And he's managed to do it at United, but the players have not been able to kind of roll off the back of that and be able to use that style to get the results at the key times. And have looked too fucking boring. It's Mourinho, I have to say it.
Yeah, maybe. But he has added some more interesting flair players into the side, like Alexis Sanchez. Hasn't worked out for Sanchez. But what I think is that next season, Sanchez will probably be a little bit more comfortable and he will be able to replicate that form that he showed at Arsenal. And if you've got a top quality Sanchez, which again today he just wasn't there, but if you've got a top quality Sanchez on form like he has been for Arsenal over the last few years, then you know you've got a player capable of changing a game. And if you get somebody like Gareth Bale in your team, another player who's definitely capable of changing a game, somebody like Luka Modric pulling the strings in midfield, you know you've got somebody capable of changing a game. Whereas at the moment we've got Paul Pogba, and I'm sorry, but not often enough is he capable of doing that. I don't think he's that influential for Manchester United. It's not like he grabs games by the scruff of the neck or, cuts teams open with his unbelievable decisive passes. And sometimes he does, but nowhere near often enough. Whereas I think if you've got a player like Luka Modric or a player like Gareth Bale added to the players that we've already got, somebody like Lukaku and Sanchez who are capable of changing the game, then guess what? You've got a team full of match winners then. And then Jose can really get the best out of them. Maybe he'll change the style of play that we play. Why would you go and play defensively against lesser teams if you've got real quality and are able to just attack the crap out of them, a la Liverpool, a la Man City, and score 4 or 5 goals and tear them open? Or defend, make it very tight, hit them on the counter, maybe nick a 1-0 win, whatever, I don't think you would approach a game like that unless you really felt like you had to. And I think with Jose Mourinho's Manchester United side this season, is although we have got quality in the side, no doubt about it, we also have players that have errors in their locker, like Phil Jones did today, Chris Smalling's another one. We've got players that make a lot of mistakes. And I think he tries to play the percentages. But if he had the quality players like Bale, just imagine if we had that, for instance. We've got Lukaku up top, we've got Sanchez and Bale on either side of the pitch. That is a threat from anywhere. You're talking about 2 quality players who can have a pop themselves from distance, who can take a man on, who can whip a ball in. And if Big Romelu's up there to finish them off, that automatically gives you, a championship challenging side, because you've got this focal point, this trident of penetration, this unit of attack that is going to be right up there with the very best of them and able to win your games. And I don't think you play a defensive style if you've got that attacking threat in your side. Unfortunately for United, I don't think we've got that right now. We don't ultimately have the important part of the jigsaw, which is the cog in midfield that drives the engine, which drives the team, which is what Paul Pogba should be doing, but in my opinion isn't doing a good enough job of.
He doesn't do that at all.
No.
He doesn't do that at all.
We need a Paul Scholes or something.
He doesn't mould the team together whatsoever. If anything, he makes the team less chemical, less fluid, liquid. It's different, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. I totally agree. He does take that out of it, and he causes issues by losing the ball and making silly errors and all sorts that he does. Very frustrating player to watch sometimes, Paul Pogba. If we could just go back and get Roy Keane, who's who's got the guile and the hardness and the defensive ability, but also the box-to-box nature, and pair him with somebody like a Scholesy, that's the dream partnership. That's the dream midfield partnership, is somebody who's completely no-nonsense, may have reasonably basic skills in terms of technical ability, but is also very, very good all-round player when it comes to tackling, when it comes to shooting, passing, all that sort of stuff.
Steven Gerrard.
Exactly. If you've got players like that in your midfield, then they're going to drive the team. Unfortunately, we don't have a player who's capable of driving the team from midfield, in my opinion. I think maybe Herrera's the best at doing that. And I still don't think he's even all that good at doing that.
Herrera looks good at times. Sometimes I think, fuck it up, that was pretty good from Herrera.
Yeah, he's good.
But do you know what I mean? Like, Frank Lampard was always at the right place at the right time. When he was always there, just at the edge of the box, where the ball has been either passed to him or crossed into him, and he puts it in the back of the net more times than not. That is... He's just had such a football brain. What you're looking for is maybe not so much a cog, but someone, it needs to be, with having a football brain that has the attacking ability, that is then that type of player. And for me, Paul Pogba is certainly not that at the moment.
I agree. Gung Sheet comments and says someone like Verratti or Kroos would be great. Yeah, exactly. We're talking about big game players who can change games. Ben G comments and says, Pig, how can you say Pogba is annoying to watch and Sanchez isn't? He gives the ball away so many times he hasn't had a good game yet.
Sanchez has very much been shit
That's a question for me there, mate. That's a question for me
there, mate.
He's
been shit, mate.
Yeah, that wasn't directed at you,
talked
mate.
Enough,
that wasn't fucking directed at you,
enough.
That was a question to me,
People are
mate.
getting bored of your voice.
Well, the numbers have been going up since I've been talking, mate. They're diminishing
because
now you're talking again. They're going down.
they've been going up because they've been thinking they're waiting for me to speak, aren't they?
Anyway, listen, what I was going to say is Sanchez is going to give the ball away more than Pogba because he's playing in that more advanced role. He's more out wide. He's the man who's supposed to be capable of taking a defender on with his dribbling ability, get past him, get down the byline, whip a ball in, get an opportunity on goal. He's going to lose the ball more than Paul Pogba. He should do. Paul Pogba's supposed to be that metronome in the centre of the park who gets the ball, gives the ball, gets the ball, gives the ball, creates things, drives forward, has shots, picks out his teammates with lovely little through balls, all that sort of thing that you expect from a diminutive, or not even a diminutive, like a dominating midfielder, somebody in the centre of the park like a Frank Lampard or a Steven Gerrard or a Roy Keane or a Paul Scholes. You know, they're all different players in terms of their styles, but they all have the same output, which is real good creatively, real good defensively, solid all round. You know, maybe Frank Lampard not so good defensively as somebody like Roy Keane or Steven Gerrard. But they're very good mixed players who are capable of holding that midfield, but also creating.
Mourinho doesn't
Paul
play.
Pogba doesn't have that.
Mourinho doesn't play your players to their strengths, though. He doesn't. Like when Alexis Sanchez is a great example. Someone that was looking pretty decent for Arsenal this season. Maybe not his bestest of bestest, but pretty damn good. You know, looked very good against Tottenham when they beat us earlier in the season. Mm-hmm. And you know, since he's gone to United, he's looked shit. And yes, fair enough. He might have been shit. He's looked okay at times. But it's very much the way that he is now playing a different game. What Mourinho's doing is he's got your attacking players playing football, trying to get them to pass and get involved and track back, etc., etc. But that is not what they're good at. So when you sign them, they look like a fantastic player at whatever club they're at because they're playing with other fluid players where the ball is you know, it's dynamic play. And they come to United, Mourinho's getting them to play in this way, and they're not playing their strengths anymore. Suddenly, they are not great at doing what Mourinho is asking them to do, and that's why your team just ain't good enough.
That's definitely true some of the time, man. It is. But other times, we do play attacking football. We do go for it. And during those times, you don't like that second half performance when we're trying to press on, and Mourinho's obviously changed the tactics up at half time and changed the motivation behind the team. He's trying to get his team to attack and score goals because obviously it's a final. We have to. A point's not good enough. There's no points. We've got to win the game. So we had to go for it. But even though we went for it, I still didn't see Paul Pogba in what I perceived to be a free role in that second half, doing anything really. You know, so even if he is given the opportunity to do that, he's not doing it. So okay, maybe the defensive nature of Jose Mourinho's team does shackle some of the creative influence we have in the team, but when they're allowed to go and create, when they're allowed to be free out there, they don't live up to it and they don't do it. So why would Jose play with those players like that if they're going to let him down regardless? Why wouldn't he play a tighter side, tighter setup, tighter tactics, and allow his team, to play the percentages and not concede or whatever? Whereas Pogba in the park, if you give him a free role, I didn't see how that's any more of an improvement than playing a defensive style Pogba, because Pogba himself is the problem. It's not Jose's tactics, in my opinion, when it comes to him.
You just don't play good enough counter-attacking football either. I mean, some of the best teams in the world, they play like a Mourinho side. You look at a team like Marseille, who play a very defensive style. But when as soon as they've got the ball, then they're away. They're gone. Do you know what I mean? There's other examples out there as well. Mourinho sides back in the day. It'd be straight on the back foot. It's just not quick enough.
Not always, though. I mean, look at Jose Mourinho when he was at Real Madrid and he's got all those attacking talents. Maybe when he comes up against Barcelona, he's playing a defensive style of play because he wants to win the game. And he knows his best opportunity of winning that game is to make it difficult for Barca, limit their chances and hit them on the break. Because otherwise, if you just play into Barca's hands and go toe-to-toe with them, they're going to outpossess you, they're going to outcreate because they have got unbelievable midfielders. And it's going to be a tough day for you. So he knows that, so he has to play defensive and change it up. But if you think he's playing that way when he's coming up against frickin' Osasuna or frickin' Deportivo La Coruña or Granada or whoever the fuck, then you're totally mistaken. He's going there to rip them apart and score loads of goals and attack and attack and attack. You have to change your tactics based on who you're coming up against. You just have to if you want to win games, especially if you feel that you're outdone in certain positions on the pitch with technical ability. Which when you're coming up against a team like Man City or up against a team like Barcelona, they have
or Chelsea
technical ability, and they also have match-winning special players that are able to change a game, a la Lionel Messi or Xavi and Iniesta over the years, those sorts of players. So I think Jose did the right thing playing those tactics against those. The problem we have with him at Manchester United is that I have no problem with him making it tough and scrappy and winning games away against Chelsea or Man City and these teams in the Premier League. I've got no problem with that. My problem is when we're coming up against West Brom or we're coming up against, Brighton, and we're not playing attacking football. We're not going for it. We're not trying to win 4 or 5-0 because that's what we should be doing in every single game that are not the top 4 teams. Don't do that against Man City in case they outpossess you and they out-counter you and they outplay you off the park. I get that, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be coming up against teams that are much less than us in terms of quality, value, whatever you want to say, just not as good a teams, and playing defensively. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. That's what I don't want to see.
That's it. I think we're coming towards the end of our little chat about the FA Cup because I think you're getting quite down about it now, aren't you? I can see you might not be able to see it from over there, but I can tell he's got to keep him calm. Don't want to have like a panic attack or nothing because it could get that way, couldn't it? Because it's been a trophy this season.
Yeah, man. Just a bunch of people in the comments section here talking about Cobra Kai. I want to talk about Cobra Kai actually because it's a new YouTube series, new YouTube Red series, which I guess is like their attempt to compete with video on demand with the likes of Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Video and all those sorts of things. YouTube's own version of that. And they produced this series called Cobra Kai, right? Which I've watched all 10 episodes of, and I must say it was fucking awesome. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
No, I don't know what the fuck that is.
People on here commenting.
Someone said Cobra Mai.
No, mate, it's not Cobra Kai, but people saying there's some terrible sound coming through here. Apologies about that. How do we sound now? Are we okay? Let me know. Nothing much we can do about it unless, Henry, you're sort of jostling your microphone there. Is that what it is?
I ain't jostling nothing, mate.
You're jostling?
I ain't touching my willy, no.
Anyway, we've got to talk about Cobra Kai, right? Cobra Kai is awesome. It's a new show which is based on what the characters got up to in the Karate Kid series, which anybody who grew up in the 90s or the 80s or whatever, you're going to love a bit of the Karate Kid. You've seen the Karate Kid, Hen, yeah? Obviously.
Carmichael says cable's loose, mate. Do we have a loose cable here? I ain't interested in Karate Kid shit, mate. I'm just not really. I'm into proper martial arts movies, like the old Bruce Lee, Fist of Fury, and that Enter the Dragon. That's the sort of stuff I grew up watching. Not this pansy Karate Kid bullshit. Karate ain't even a proper good martial art. Not really. No offense. I'm sure there's some people good at karate out there that would say otherwise and say it's a fantastic.
Mate, you're a fucking
but
dickhead,
it ain't got nothing on something like Taekwondo. Or proper bit of Chinese kung fu and these arts that are proper fighting martial arts kind of.
Because there's loads of people in the UFC for
that
instance,
use a bit of karate, but nah,
yeah.
For me it is a substandard martial art. It is. I'm gonna put that out there.
There's elements of karate that are really valuable in martial arts.
Very much straight line
Stephen Wonderboy
bullshit.
Thompson, Lyoto Machida, even freaking Sage Northcutt. They'll all disagree with you, mate, because they're people who use
Steven
karate
Zeffon
style.
says exactly, Hen. He says he knows.
He's talking shit.
He
He's
knows.
Talking shit, mate. He's just said that the Karate Kid he don't give a shit about. Listen, the Karate Kid is one of the best movies of the 80s. Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Come on, it's the shit. And you're absolutely besmirching the good name of the Karate Kid here by saying these, quite frankly, blasphemous things, mate. And I don't appreciate it.
Go watch
Out of all the things
go
you
watch
said,
a bit
this
of
is the
Chuck
thing that did
Norris.
the most.
Go watch a bit of
Fuck
Chuck Norris. Go watch some proper stuff.
No, that's not proper stuff, is it?
Jean-Claude Van Damme, yeah?
Mate, Chuck Norris is freaking karate, mate. You're contradicting yourself. What's the matter with you,
He
Henry?
ain't just karate.
He's fucking just
he
karate,
ain't just
mate.
karate.
You're absolutely mugging me off here,
He
mate.
ain't just karate.
Listen to my son. Listen to me,
There's
son.
more to Chuck Norris than straight line karate bullshit.
Listen to me, son. Yeah, look, listen to Benji. Stephen Wonderboy is the best striker in the UFC, and he is a karate fighter. You're having a mare, pal. Anyway, listen to me, right? Karate is still very useful. We're not talking about the uses of karate and martial arts here. Fuck, I just want to talk about Cobra Kai, the YouTube series we're talking about. Anyway, 10 episodes. Watch them all. It's a good show, I recommend it. If you like the Karate Kid, you want to see what Daniel LaRusso's up to these days, you want to see what Johnny Lawrence is up to these days, freaking watch Cobra Kai, man. You won't regret it. It was awesome. And I want to see more of it. The only thing that's pissed me off is that I've watched all 10 episodes, and the next one's not even in production yet. Apparently it has been greenlit for a season 2 because of the unbelievable response it's had online, and I for one can see why, because it's a good show, it's done well. What I like about it is it's quite adult in theme. It's not like a kiddie show or anything, swear.
I can't believe
swearing
we've
and
gone
all that
from
stuff in
talk
it.
about the FA Cup to Cobra Kai.
It's freaking
just
awesome,
to
mate.
try and massage your mind to make you feel better about what's happened
Cobra
today.
Kai never dies, mate. Strike first, strike hard. No mercy, yeah.
It's just difficult for me to
Get
talk
in a
about.
body bag,
It's
Johnny!
difficult for me to
Get
get
in a body bag!
It's difficult for me to get involved and talk about something I know nothing about.
Yeah, fair
No
enough.
wonder it's all about the pig tonight, isn't it?
You never watched Karate Kid growing up?
I might have watched it, but I can't even really remember. No.
Fucking hell, we're so different people, do you know that?
Shaolin Soccer, Alex, right? That's a good one. I can't really
I've
remember.
not seen
but
that.
it's-
I've not
I
seen.
think
I've
that's
seen
quite
the
a good
video
one,
for it, the video cover for it. I know what you're on about, but I've never actually watched it. It looked like a shocking B-movie gash-tastic film to me.
Did
That's
it?
probably why I didn't watch it. You know, up there with like Ladybugs, which is another football film you probably never seen, which is about a girls' soccer team. A boy pretends to be a girl playing it. It's fucking shit. Anyway, that's what I'm talking
I
about.
know, it's because when you're growing up, you're only allowed to watch the sort of martial arts or sports movies that were kind of like, 12A was not acceptable. It had to be PG or U, didn't it? For you,
Don't
your
know about you, mate,
household.
but I was watching Predator and Terminator and Aliens when I was about fucking 5.
Yeah, well, so was I, yeah.
So yeah, but
Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Terminator. There's a new Predator coming out soon.
Is,
Is that out?
it's going to be garbage. Isn't
I think
it?
it's called.
It's going to be garbage.
It's called The Predator.
Oh, is
I
it?
think so.
Fair enough. No, Predator movies are always pretty cool, but really, it's never going to live up to the first Predator with Arnie.
Trouble
it?
is, you can
Never.
never replace Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
He is his own entity, isn't
That's
he?
it. I mean,
Arnie?
they tried in the second one with Danny Glover, but no, Danny, you're just not up to the level of Arnie, are you?
No, Danny Glover was good, but no, I mean, obviously, yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he must be in my top 10 people of all time.
What, if who
In
you
a
want to
way.
suck off?
Ah, of course
Who's
not.
on there, Deli
In
and
terms
Kane
of
at
people
number
I
one?
respect,
Oh,
what is
right,
wrong
okay.
with you?
Sorry,
You are
mate.
sick and
Sorry,
wrong,
mate.
aren't you? It's like, I'm talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, I say he's someone that I'd like to, and first thing that comes to your head is suck off. Are you serious?
It's just the way
What
you were
are
talking
on?
about it, mate. The glint you had in the eye and the fact that you were cupping your balls at the time.
I was not cupping my balls. What are you on
Feel
about?
the need to show everyone your hands, mate. We all know what you're up to down there. We all know what you're up to down
That's where
there,
that
mate.
static came from.
Oh, dear. Apparently this audio is not very good tonight. We apologise, lads and lasses.
Have you plugged in all the
Yeah, we
things
should
in there?
be plugged in all good. I mean, we are
Is that
running out
better
of battery,
if I just hold my mic? Should I sing a song?
I don't know, but I think we are running out of battery right now anyway.
that is
so
an issue.
That is
You're
an issue.
running
We'll
out of
probably have to
battery.
wrap this up pretty soon, actually, because we're on 4%. I've got the charger in, but the charger's just not man enough for the job. It's using more juice than it's capable of charging right now.
It's because it's not an official charger, is it?
Stephen Zebon comments and says audio is all right. Do you know what? Thanks, Stephen. I think we've just got a bunch of mugs in here trying to freaking put us off and say the audio is not working properly. Because now they've got us talking about that.
Lovely.
So
I mean-
you win, pricks.
That's it. Your super chat money has helped us to invest in this, commodities such.
Yeah, Alex Ross says audio is okay, but static is there. Yeah, well, that's Henry's fault. Do you know what I mean?
How's that my fault?
Because of course it's going to be your fault, like most things, mate.
How does that work, mate? You're just a child, aren't you?
Well, you know, I like
The
to
big
think the best.
overgrown child.
I don't want to grow up, mate. Call me Peter Pan. I'll be a child forever, mate, and never Neverland.
That's it. You're proper Michael Jackson, aren't you?
Yeah, anyway. Right, let's move on before we start talking about freaking Neverland Ranch and Michael Jackson. That's not the Neverland I meant, mate, okay? I meant the one with Captain Hook and shit. No need to get seedy on us, is there? Alex Rudd comments and says, you guys are like the odd couple. Yeah, well, we are. We're an odd couple of Kents, aren't we? But he's going to China soon, so we're going to be odd couple from the other side of the pond. In fact, it was Alex Rudd sent me a message on Twitter saying, I hope Henry gets good internet when he's over in China so we can
I
continue
hope
the
so.
show.
Hope so.
What are you
Well,
going to get, mate? Just tell everyone the
Basically,
setup
to
you're going to
begin
get.
with, it is. I mean, he's saying that he's not happy with this, but basically, it's just going to be me through like a device or something, isn't it? That's going to be the easiest way to do it. To
Oh,
begin
really
with.
good way of describing it there, mate. Me through a device. Can you explain a little bit clearly what we were talking
Well, you
about?
basically just have to hold up a screen of me, isn't it? No one wants to see your ugly mug anyway. You just hold it up, and then it's just me. Yeah.
Prick, mate. Yeah, carry on.
So that'll be it.
So basically,
Sorry.
yeah, Henry on an iPad or something. That's not going to work very well, is it? Audio quality's going to be shit. You know it. I don't
Diminished,
like
but
that. I
people
don't
will
like that.
still tune in if they really want to
What
see a
you
bit of the
need
hen.
to do, mate.
Otherwise, just chop me out of the show then, innit?
No, listen. What
Chop
you
me
need
out
to
of
do.
the fucking show then, yeah?
What you need to do is get. Yeah, look. Alex wants to just do a split screen,
Yeah,
screen
you
with
could
Skype.
get Skype out in China.
That's
Let's do
right.
that then.
Yes, that's it. And I'll just use some
You know,
software.
that's it. Alex Ross probably sitting out there thinking, listen to these two absolute mugs. Do you know what I mean? These absolute melters that are worried about, ooh, they won't be able to do the show anymore. Do you know what I mean? He knows.
That's it. You
he
just
knows.
Skype in, mate. I'll get some software where we can stream using Skype. You sign into Skype. That's how we'll do it. Or you just sign into Google Hangouts, use a VPN. Stop being such a melter. Stop worrying that the Chinese government's going to burst through your door just for going on fucking YouTube, you mug. All right, and just use Google out there, and we'll do a Google Hangout, and that's how we're going to be able to do the show going forward. Why do you have to be such an overcomplicated twat sometimes, Henry?
I'm not.
Anyway, unfortunately, lads and lasses, I'm having a blast doing this podcast, and you know, which is what I need after an absolute shocking day with Manchester United losing the FA Cup final. But the phone's dying, lads and lasses, and it is going to run out of battery soon, and it's charging, but it's only just charging. It's
What
going
percentage
down.
have we got?
It's on 3% now. You see, it was
Well,
on 4%.
that's pretty much almost gone,
and it's
mate.
charging.
It's
It's
almost
going to go
gone.
out soon. It's going to go out soon. So I apologise. I've got all sorts of gas
I
problems.
know, that's
over
the
it as well.
crackling, isn't it? It's this fucking belly. You know, it's pork belly, isn't it?
Usually you were the rancid breath debate, but today it's me. Henry halitosis has passed this disease over.
I didn't say you got bad breath.
Oh, sorry, mate. Right.
Or was that someone's comment?
Anyway, oh yeah, Kurt Conning comments and says, "Try You Now. It works." Have you ever heard of You Now? Some Chinese shit, I'm guessing.
No, don't.
Okay,
in
well,
in
maybe
terms
we
of
can try
what does you now offer? Blowjobs? You
Right.
now. Innit? I want you now. Yeah, that works.
Right, we're going to wrap up the Pig and the Hen show now. But just want to say to everybody who's tuned in, bunch of legends, aren't you? I really appreciate you getting involved with this, especially on a Saturday night, you know, late at night. Wasn't expecting that many people to be in here, but you've all turned up. You've all got involved, and that's what counts. You guys commenting in the comment section, really, we appreciate it because it gives us other material to talk about during it, and we always love interacting with you guys. So thanks so much for getting involved. If I've not replied, and Henry's not replied to any of your comments tonight, apologies. You know, we'll try to get round to it next time. Do us a favour and come back in a few minutes once this video's been published to YouTube and comment on the video. Then that way they'll stick around permanently and I'll be able to view them and react to them and all that sort of thing. So make sure you do that.
Alchemamoot says, give me a mention. Fuck off, mate. I was going to anyway. What was his previous comment? See, I've forgotten now. You've thrown me, haven't you? No, he said FIFA night. There we go, FIFA night. Well, what can we play with? Because I sold my Xbox, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, I've sold it.
Oh, right. Well,
Sold it to them mugs down at, what's it called?
CEX?
Yeah, CEX.
Why did you take it there,
absolute
mate?
fucking melters in there.
Why did you take it there?
I know,
mate?
because
You
I
could've
just
get less money for it. Mate.
I know, but
How much
I
did
just
you get
wanted to
for it, mate?
offload it.
How much did you get for it?
What, my Xbox? What, about 100 quid?
You're a dickhead,
Yeah, but fuck
aren't you,
it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Fuck
No,
it.
you're a dickhead, mate.
I had fuck all games with it anyway, so I sold
Yeah,
that
but
with 4 games.
listen,
I
what you
sold my
have to ask
Wii U,
yourself-
my Wii U with all its games, because we're just done with them
You
machines.
made me money
I'm
from the
moving
bet,
up to
mate. I'd have
China.
taken an Xbox.
I don't need this crap, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I've sold it on, but they are fucking mugs down there, right? I'm telling you, because you go down there, and like the first chap, he was just like one of these, like, you know, no disrespect. I don't have an issue with young people. He was like what, like 19 years old or whatever, but he was some chatty fuck. He was just like, yeah. So I just bought the new whatever it is, Armageddon 13,300 and that, you know, yeah, pretty good game, mate. I was like, yeah, well done, mate. So I'm just trying to sell my stuff here and that. He's like, you know, yeah, so, yeah, I took this chick round to downtown earlier, and yeah, she's you know, pretty
Did he
fine.
say that?
You know, it's just a weirdo,
didn't
mate.
say that, did he?
You know, well, yeah, something along those lines, yeah, pretty much, you know, yeah.
That's weird shit. in a
Just,
CEX shop.
just gonna get a bus bit later and.
Oh,
do
Henry,
that.
mate.
It's weird, mate.
It wasn't a CEX shop you went into, mate. It was a sex shop you went
maybe,
into, pal. That's
maybe
what it sounds
was. And then the next one I go to was some greasy, you know. Oh shit, I'm getting phoned, mate.
But anyway, yeah, to answer your
See,
question,
it's
we'll try
probably
and do
time
FIFA
to go,
night
isn't
soon,
it?
mate.
Oh, Kerry's phoning. Here
try
we
and
go.
do a FIFA
Here we
night
get in
soon.
FaceTime. This could be Anthony Joshua, right? It could be, right? Let's do it.
I reckon it's going to be Anthony Joshua.
Hello. Hello, right, this is a special appearance from our friend. And tell everybody what you're doing this evening. You look good. You look like you're dressed well. So I don't think he's able to speak. I don't think he's able to speak because he's at an event, and I don't know if people can hear us. You are the Pig of the Hen Show, Anthony Joshua! Anthony Joshua! Joshua! Right, okay, well basically our friend is in Bournemouth this evening, dressed up very, very fancily. And basically he's at a do, isn't he, at a dinner.
Sure, that maybe Anthony Joshua's
Anthony
on
Joshua is there, right? Oh, here we go, is that him?
there. I don't know, mate, but this is proper random.
We've got a live stream here, guys. That is him, isn't it? That is him.
That's Anthony Joshua there. We're getting a live stream from a Bournemouth event with
Should
Anthony
I
Joshua.
turn my phone round? Is that gonna spin? Does that make it better?
Dunno,
Oh,
mate.
that's our friend. Oh, there we go. That's some of our social group there. I mean, as you can see, me and the pig ain't been out for a while. You know, our friends are actually living it up in the world. But you know, at least they still contact us. They feel sorry for us doing our little humble show, and they're giving us this live stream.
Yeah, this is actually going to run out of battery soon, mate, to be fair, so we're going to have to wrap this up. It's not like he's actually on there anyway, so...
Yeah, but this is interesting, because this is a stream for people, and they, you know...
Yeah, but nobody wants to watch it off your phone holding it like that, mate.
Well, I guess not, mate. Let's see what's actually going on here. Let me see if I can see what's going on. No, he's talking.
Yeah, he's talking.
Joshua! It's like they're not going to have me on the
you, are
speaker
they,
on
mate?
there.
That's what we were hoping for. Hoping to get a bit of Anthony Joshua talking to us tonight, but it's not panned out, is it?
That's it. He's just trying to, he's just rubbing it in, isn't he? That he's at this event watching this show. Well done, mate, yeah. Fucking mug.
Well, we better wrap it up, mate. We're going to run out.
That's it, yeah. Well, I'm not watching this crap, do you know what I mean? Yeah, well done. Is that Joshua? Is he boxing tonight? No. Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
There he is, he's chatting.
So that is a bit of a live stream. I mean, does anyone care about this? Does anyone care? Where's Rincon outcome? It's probably fucked off, isn't he? Because he doesn't give a fuck about this bullshit.
Let's end this vid.
Tell your friend to come on. I've told him, Alex, mate. Kerry, mate, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you want to get on the vid, mate? Do you want to get on the Pig and the Hen show?
I mean, they can't hear us.
They can't hear me. He can't hear me. It's just, obviously, it's Anthony Joshua just talking. So there we go. Let's wrap it up. Who cares? Who cares? No one cares. See you later, mate, yeah? Brick.
Fucking hell, anyway. Yeah, well, maybe not quite the candid one-on-one interview with Anthony Joshua there we
That's
were
what he
hoping
promised
for.
us. That's why I didn't mention it earlier, because I thought, I ain't going to get our listeners' hopes up there with some, like, you know, random interview with Anthony Joshua, because that would be pretty high profile for the Pig and the Hen show, wouldn't it? Yeah. And it almost happened. I got almost a wet willy here thinking about it when I was getting the FaceTime call. But no, it's just Anthony Joshua on the stage. Yeah, well done. Good one.
Right, anyway, we are going to wrap it up there, but thanks so much for tuning into the Pig and the Hen show this week. We'll try and get one out ASAP for you, hopefully Thursday, but if not, you know, it's going to be sometime after then. That's how we work. But we will try and get one in every single week. Join us next time around for more Pig and the Hen show banter. Thanks so much for getting involved. Do us a favour, chuck a like on this video. If you're new to this channel and you've just stumbled across it and found out about it, do us a favour, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You can also click the little bell end icon to be notified when we post a video.
If there's any chance, you never know, if you are an Anthony Joshua out there, or you are a sports star that wants to have the first celebrity interview. You don't even have to be a celebrity. If you're some kind of sports star, someone that's worth us talking about and wants to be on the show, Skype call or something like that, that's something else we could do and look to do in the future. If you're out there, or if you know someone, let me know. Maybe we could do a little bit better than Anthony Joshua right there.
Oh, hiccups, mate. Right, thanks so much.
You're disgusting, mate. You are disgusting.
They don't call
Anthony
me for no
Joshua will
reason.
not let you interview him with that kind of behaviour. I'm telling you right now.
Right,
you
thank
up your game, son. Up your game.
Yeah, shut up. Thank you so much for getting involved. We'll see you very soon. You've been watching the Pig and the Hen show. I've been the pig.
I've been the hen. Bark, bark.
Make sure you go over to the podcast app, whichever one you use. Search for Pig and the Hen Show, or search for Mr. Flying Pig HD or Pigcast Podcast, any of those. It will pop up with the Pig and the Hen Show podcast. Make sure you subscribe over there too. You can leave a 5-star rating to help us out over on iTunes. And if you just want to listen to the audio version of this podcast, that's how you can do it. So make sure you do search for it over there, or soundcloud.com/MrFlyingPigHD. But for now, like, subscribe, comment. You've been watching the Pig and the Hen Show. We'll be back very, very soon. Take it easy. Have a good one. Come on, United. Sort your freaking lives out, lads
Al
and lasses.
Mamoot knows John Joe Shelby, mate. John Joe Shelby, we could get John Joe Shelby on the show.
Could we really get John Joe Shelby on the show?
Well, he's not going to Russia, is he? He's not going to Russia, so we can get him on the show.
And what's he going to talk about? You know, being the villain in a Harry Potter book? Who gives a shit about John Joe Shelby, mate?
Well, I reckon that's pretty high profile. I'd bite your arm off for that, mate.
Fair enough. I'll get in contact with Henry Hotspur. Yeah, he says I know him.
So you're saying you wouldn't get involved then? If I had John Joe Shelby lined up for the show, it'd be like, nah, sorry, you said you didn't want him on there.
I'd probably say,
Correct.
you know, I don't really want to interview Voldemort. Thanks very much. So see you later on, pal. You shit.
Oh, you just get him on just to tell him
Just
that.
to mug him off.
Jog on, John Joe.
John Joe, thanks so much for coming on the show. Just want to start this off by saying, you know, my viewers are very happy that you're on here, but my personal opinion of you is you're an absolute garbage footballer. You are a shite, pal, not to mention that. You've got a shiny bald head and you look like the Harry Potter villain. You're a mug, pal. Something along
Now
those
fuck
lines.
off.
Now get fucked, hang up. Right, anyway, no, actually, John Joe, if you're watching this, I apologise, mate. Come on the show! I'd love to have you on here, mate. High profile professional football. I've got lots to chat about.
Get Moyes on. Yeah, definitely.
That's
Got
not
you.
gonna
Love
happen.
it. Love
That's
it.
not gonna happen,
Moyes
is
and LVG, 100%.
Right, anyway, I've already done the sign-off one time. Let's do it again. Thanks so much for getting involved with the Pig and the Hen show. Make sure you do like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you very soon indeed. You've been watching the Pig and the Hen. I've been the Pig.
I've been the hen. Bark, bark.
And we'll see you very, very soon. Take it easy, have a good one, and sort your freaking lives out, Manchester United, as I've already said. Catch you later.
See ya.
Bye.